Good morning. Welcome to the first premium public video forecast discussion of 2025. Of course, it's Friday, January 3rd, and I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino, CDM number 9. Well, we have a lot to talk about here, and we're actually going to share some snow maps. And for some of you who aren't premium members, and of course, thank you all those who have subscribed. Really appreciate it. We're going to go over some of those snow maps and zoom in on what we can expect not only for this evening, especially down in southern New Jersey, but also for Monday, where this is a little bit more of a complicated storm. We're going to go over what could change and where I'm at right now with this threat, especially with the way that the temperatures are lining up in terms of the snow ratios, which are going to be a bit elevated. So first, let's look at the observations. Let's zoom in here. And what we have right now is quiet weather conditions overall. Temperatures range from the upper 20s to lower 30s, a few mid 20s in your higher elevations over the interior. Along the coast, we're in the lower to mid 30s in your urban areas, upper 20s to lower 30s in your suburbs. Overall, a bit chilly out there, but nothing that is out of the norm. But a cold front is approaching. Now, this one, it doesn't look all that impressive, right now. There's a little bit of a mid-level shortwave that's involved with this cold front here, and behind it is Arctic air. And so this area of snowfall is going to be marching through Pennsylvania and New Jersey by the time we get to later on this afternoon and evening, and some of this is going to be enhanced, and I'll explain why. In the infrared satellite picture, you can start to see some of the lifting starting to improve here. Notice the colder cloud top starting to develop here in the Ohio River Valley, heading towards Pennsylvania and moving towards the region. So you can see the enhancement here starting to develop here. And you can see the little weak shortwave involved here. Now, it's not weak, but it's little. Okay, it's little, but it carries a bit of a punch here. And it's going to help to really intensify once it hits the coastal waters. Why? Because we're going to get a thermal gradient setting up. So the waters are warmer, Arctic air is coming in. And so with that, you can see right behind it the true Arctic air coming in behind this disturbance, and you're going to end up with some convective development. Now, this disturbance is really important because it sets up the blocking that is going to evolve for Monday. And the interaction between this shortwave that will blow up out here with this feature here will tell the tale on what to expect for Monday. I'll show you the model guides and you'll get a better idea of what I'm talking about. So here we are with the model guides. And first, here comes our first disturbance right here. Robust, and notice the lifting here down in southern New Jersey, enhancing the rising motion in the atmosphere, and then helping to enhance the potential for instability. So that's going to open up the potential for a burst of moderate snow in portions of southern New Jersey. We're talking about Gloucester County, Atlantic County, Cape May. So not looking for widespread, but this is going to be happening in the afternoon and evening hours, right around the evening rush hour. People going to Atlantic City, Philadelphia. You might want to plan to give yourself a little bit of extra time with some of the snowfall. Further north, just some flurries, maybe a dusting here and there up towards Monmouth County and Ocean County, but that's pretty much about it in this scenario. But this is really important because this comes out here and rapidly intensifies into this 50-50 low. Okay, so this whole setup here evolves into this 50-50 low and sets the stage by Sunday morning for this next disturbance that is starting to enter the picture from the Mississippi River Valley. Now, you've probably been hearing quite a bit about model guidance going north and south and suppression, not suppression. The GFSs went way north, and then you got the icon. I'm going to make this very, very simple for you. This feature here intensifies. That evolution forces this disturbance to drop south. This disturbance is basically like an anchor here. Okay, so this sets up the block so it prevents this from getting any further north. but it also helps to set this feature up to suppress the subtropical shortwave. So with this can only go up to, let's say, about New England. But with this feature, well, that pretty much keeps it to the south of New York City. So as a result, you get this convergence and confluence, converging air over New England, setting up a strong surface high pressure system, which drives down plenty of Arctic air. So you have very cold air in place. So everyone's snow, depending on if it's falling or not, that's really the question. So this feature here in model guidance where this whole setup is shifted a little bit further north towards central New Jersey and Philadelphia and clipping New York City, this feature is a little bit weaker. Not a lot, just a little bit. So the difference between seeing accumulating snowfall for portions of the southern New York City metro and all the Philadelphia metro is really whether or not this is a little bit weaker and a little bit further north. Not that much of a change. If you're looking for Connecticut, the Hudson River Valley, the Poconos, Catskills, this is not for you. And we know that because of this feature right here that pretty much locks in this whole theme that this is a mid-Atlantic storm. The question is whether or not this is a mid-Atlantic storm for Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, or is it a winter storm for Baltimore and Philadelphia and maybe clipping portions of New York City, let's say like Staten Island and on the South Shore of Long Island. Right now, that does not look likely, but I want you to be prepared, and we'll be following this all weekend. If this feature is a little bit weaker, then this is coming north a little bit more. So that exits out pretty quickly. And then behind it, waves of Arctic air. Not seeing a lot of support for any type of major winter storm after that, but I would keep an eye on this pattern as we head towards the 12th and 13th with this feature right here. I know right now it doesn't look all that impressive, but this blocking is setting up like it is right here. I'd keep an eye on this threat for next weekend. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there. We'll watch it, see how it evolves over the next couple of days. So in the meantime, let me just show you the precipitation. As this is the precipitable water value, so you can kind of get an idea of just how far north this precipitation shield can get. So we'll start with today, and you can see the feature here drawing in some of the warmer air. You get some moisture here over southern New Jersey. So again, this is where we open up the potential for a little bit of that burst of moderate snow for this evening. So that exits out pretty quickly. Again, there's clearly Arctic air, dry Arctic air in place. And then we get our next storm. Now, look at the gradient setting up here. This is pretty impressive. Again, this is the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. You can see here the impact of the high pressure systems driving the dry air southward. And basically what you have here is this gradient of moisture. So this is like flurries up here. This is some light snow here. Then you get more moderate, and then you start getting into heavy snow here. Why? Because of the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. But remember, our snow ratios are going to be higher. We're not talking about 10 to 1. It's more going to be like 15 to 1. So it's going to be a very powdery, dry snow. And the cutoff between, hey, this is plowable or not, is going to be pretty tight over, let's say, Monmouth County up through Trenton, and points south, it just gets progressively worse. Points north of that is going to be limited as well. So you can see in this setup here, very tight gradient and a little shift north, not significant, just a little bit, could push that, let's say, 6+ inch snowfall towards Philadelphia, and maybe a 4+ inch snowfall more into central New Jersey, and then you can talk about 2 or 3 inches in New York City. If you're looking for the bulk of the snowfall for this event, it's clearly going to be from Philadelphia on south. So we're not talking about a major shift or a major change in the storm development here. And again, with 850 millibar temperatures as they are, again, for this evening, here it come in, we go from polar to Arctic, And then the Arctic air is just locked in through the weekend. And then here comes our storm with some of that warm air transport. Again, but this is pretty chilly. This is going to push your snow ratios up. So when we consider all these factors, this enhances your potential for more snowfall. But the limiting factor of the forcing that we were talking about, the 500 millibar pattern, cuts down your potential for how robust this precipitation shield can get. And that's why we see such a sharp cutoff from New York City to Philadelphia and a very robust storm from Philadelphia through Washington, D.C. So, Southern Mid-Atlantic people, this is looking more and more like your storm than anything else. So, this is the HRR guidance, the latest one that's out here. And you can see the impacts here for this evening. Now, this convective potential here that we're seeing is also seen here very nicely. The lifting combined with this type of skew-T environment sets up the potential for some bursts of moderate snow in a few locations. And that is generally focused down here in southern New Jersey and the Philadelphia metro. It's a very, very tight line. And we're not talking about a lot here. Again, around this area, a trace, a dusting, an inch in a few isolated locations, not a big deal from 3 p.m. today through midnight. A little bit further south, this is where we're talking about our 1 to 3 inch snowfall. Most locations here are going to get that 1 inch, and that's pretty much about it. But you're going to get, this area is going to have the best potential for some lollipops of, 2 inches, a rogue 3 inches. I would not rule that out as this is swinging out. And again, you can see this very nicely here on the HRR. You see that convective element here, see those heavier bursts? That is where, again, you don't take this verbatim, but you get the idea of what the threat potential is here in this environment where you get these bursts. And one of the things that I found very interesting with this model guidance is that you're getting some areas where it gets suppressed and other areas where it's getting strong. That's a strong convective signal. So it's not a whole precipitation shield here in this environment, but it's broken up pieces. So this tells me, yeah, there's going to be a lot of convective pop here, which is going to open up that potential for that additional inch or two. Now this swings out here and clears out, and that's generally setting up the forecast. And then we have our next storm, okay, where again, we're talking about this tight gradient here. And so the thinking right now, and we'll go through the whole 7-day forecast in a moment. This is on the premium dashboard. So a public map probably will be issued on Sunday afternoon. But on the premium dashboard, it's been on here for a few days now. Again, New York City Metro, dusting, maybe 2 inches at most because of the high snow ratio here. But most locations are going to be struggling with much of anything. Down here is where you get your 2 to 4 inches. Again, if we were talking about a 10 to 1 ratio, you cut all this in half. But because of the higher snow ratio, you get a little bit better potential here for some accumulating plowable snow in this region in zone 2. Then as we head towards the Philadelphia metro through south central New Jersey, you're talking about 3 to 6 inches. And then where you get your best potential for steady, heavier snow, right? Look, Cape May, Wildwood, down through Delaware. This could actually, in Baltimore, Washington, this could be a 6 to 12 inch snowfall. And again, if this was a 10 to 1 ratio, we'd be talking about 4 to 8 or maybe 6 inches. But because of the enhanced snow ratio factor here, we could see a few isolated locations pushing up to a foot of snow. We'll make adjustments as we get more data over the next 48 hours. And again, have updates and send out the latest as we go on through this weekend. So with that, let's dive into our forecast for today. Let's reset this and get this lined up. So for today, clouds begin to increase, snow showers move in as we move past 2 p.m., and then continuing on through the evening hours. Again, this is a focus for primarily southern New Jersey and southeastern Pennsylvania. A few flurries are possible as you head further north, with high temperatures in the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. Those temperatures will quickly fall as the snow begins to move through. And then by tomorrow morning, we're looking at scattered cloud cover, a few flurries here and there. Watch out for some of that lake effect snow dropping down through, let's say, the Finger Lakes into the Poconos and Catskills. Again, you can get a quick burst of snow there. Look for low temperatures ranging from the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast. For tomorrow afternoon, scattered cloud cover. Again, a few flurries are possible. High temperatures in the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. On Sunday, high pressures in control. Quiet day, the calm before the storm, at least if you're in the southern mid-Atlantic. Look for temperatures on Sunday to range from the lower to mid 20s for lows, and high temperatures, really not moving all that much, upper 20s to lower 30s for much of the region, lower to mid 30s on the immediate coast and in some urban areas. So definitely a chilly day. So you see the cold air is in place for this all snow event, and then we have our storm move through on Monday morning into Monday afternoon. Again, you can see that moderate burst of snow focused more towards the Philadelphia metro on south. Central New Jersey, you're close, but this is more of a light snow event. Again, the snow ratio is what really helps you out with increasing that snowfall potential, which we'll fine tune as we move on through the weekend. Temperatures on Monday are going to be pretty chilly. Look for lower to mid 20s over for lows, and high temperatures are going to range from the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior and upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. So again, more than cold enough to support that all snow event. On Tuesday and Wednesday, a strong northwesterly flow will be in place, and that's going to set up scattered cloud cover, a few flurries here and there. Look for low temperatures ranging from the upper teens to lower 20s throughout the region. High temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s in the Delaware River Valley, and upper 20s to lower 30s on the immediate coast. On Thursday, that northwesterly flow continues with a bit of a trough driving through, so it's going to be windy and definitely cold out there. We're going to have to watch out for a few snow squalls here and there on Thursday. Look for low temperatures, very cold, in the single digits to lower teens over the northern interior, lower to mid teens along the coast, and high temperatures ranging from the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 20s along the coast. And with those strong winds, it's not going to help all that much. Now, on Friday, we relax a bit and we moderate with a little bit more of a westerly wind. And so that's going to support low temperatures in the upper teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast, and high temperatures in the mid to upper 20s over the northern interior and lower to mid 30s along the coast. So we have two events that we're going to be watching. Of course, I will have updates throughout the afternoon and evening as both events evolve. We'll keep an eye on this snow event for this evening and have updates on social media. And of course, on our Discord, I'll be keeping an eye for any premium members that have questions, and of course on our live chat forum. So if you have any questions there or any concerns for premium members, I'll be there ready to respond because, hey, that's what you pay for. In the meantime, stay safe out there.